Hello everyone, this is a Warwick guide. This video will include abilities, masteries, matchup, item order, pros and cons. Firstly, without taking up much of your time, you must definitely watch this video until the end. It's already going to be a short, informative video. Now let's together take a look at the pros and cons of Warwick. Pros: Warwick has a great and healthy jungle clear. Among the highest tempo champions in the game, has a lot of mobility, tankiness, and repositioning ability. Great at skirmishing, and can sometimes even pull off 1v3s. Warwick does objectives really fast, because his passive also works on monsters. Easy to play, and very strong when played correctly. Cons: might take you some time to get used to the fluctuating attack speed. Your multi-camp clear is bad before you have your Tiamat. Grievous wounds counter Warwick pretty hard before he builds any tank items. Magic resist also works well against him. Enemies can block your ultimate, and you have a hard time playing against champions with a lot of peel or kiting ability. Now, let's take a look at the Warwick Mastery page together. Here, you can make adjustments according to your own playstyle. Press the attack. It's often the best rune in jungle, mainly because you are playing for picks and not longer fights. Take this if you are playing versus squishy high-damage champions to shut them down quickly in the top lane. Remember that press the attack also applies to all your allies, so they get a damage multiplier too. Lethal Tempo. This is an absolutely amazing rune when you are allowed to stack it. Fully stacked, Lethal Tempo gives you so much extra damage. I recommend taking this in matchups where you have the ability to stick to people. When enemies aren't that mobile, Conqueror. This rune can be stacked quite quickly if you cancel your basic attack with Q Jaws of the Beast, and will give extra AD. I wouldn't take this anymore since Lethal Tempo exists. Depending on the opponent's situation and the game's composition, you can make these selections. You can choose Refillable Potion and Stealth Ward as your starting items. After 5 minutes, for your early item pick, you can go for Pickaxe and Vampiric Scepter for damage. Up to 20 minutes, you can consider purchasing Blade of the Ruined King, Mercury's Treads, and Jackshow the Protean. For your full build, after getting Titanic Hydra recently, you can continue with Death's Dance and Sterax Gauge. This is a passive ability. Warwick's attacks deal an additional 1246 magic damage on hit. If Warwick is below 50% health, he also heals for 100% of the damage dealt by Eternal Hunger. If Warwick is below 25% health, the healing is increased to 250% of the damage dealt. This is a Q ability. Warwick lunges forward and bites, dealing 120% of his attack max health as magic damage and restoring of damage dealt as health. This is a W ability. Passive. Warwick can sense champions below 50% health, gaining movement speed towards them and gaining attack speed against them. These bonuses are tripled against enemies below 20% health. Active. Warwick can briefly sense all enemies and gains this ability's passive effect against the closest champion for 8 seconds, regardless of health. Warwick cannot use this ability while in combat with champions. This is E ability. Warwick gains damage reduction for 2.5 seconds. After it ends, Warwick howls, fearing nearby enemies for 1 second. Warwick can recast to end the ability early. This is O ultimate. Warwick leaps a huge distance that scales with his movement speed, suppressing the first champion he collides with while he channels for 1.5 seconds. He attacks that champion 3 times over the duration, applying on-hit effects and dealing magic damage. Warwick restores 100% of all damage dealt during the channel as health.